Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about golden fluids. Golden fluids, I use them a lot and people are always commenting how expensive they are. Now, if you only have like a budget of $15 or $20 to spend on paint, obviously this is not going to be in your price range. But I just want to show you, look how much paint I'm using, how tiny. This is a little cup. I'm using about 8 milliliters of paint in that cup, and each 4-ounce bottle, that's a 4-ounce bottle right there, each 4-ounce bottle of golden fluids has 118 milliliters, and I just used like 8. So that gives you an idea of what a small amount of actual pigment you're using, of actual paint. So the reason you can get away with using such a tiny amount of these golden fluid acrylics is because the pigment load is so strong. And all of the golden paint products are like that. The heavy bodies are very strong too, but especially these golden fluids. I'm mixing mine today with the GAC 800, just a little bit, and a little bit of a Floetrol. You can see I'm just putting a little, basically a little dab in there. That's my Floetrol bottle. And then I'm filling up the rest of the cup with Floetrol. So really I used a tiny little amount of the actual paint. So I wanted to show you, look how smooth and creamy and quickly, this is real time, that they mix up with no air bubbles. And that's another reason why I like to use them. They dry exactly the same color. They very rarely need water if your Floetrol is good. So if you think about it like this, a 4-ounce bottle of golden fluid has 118 milliliters. It costs an average of about $15 per bottle. Like that one was $12.75. Some of them are a little more or less expensive. So if you do the math, the average cost per milliliter is 13 cents, okay? So I used 8 colors. 8 cups with 8 milliliters per cup is 64 milliliters, and the actual golden fluid cost is $8.50. And I made 2 paintings out of it. Now, of course, that does not include the extras like the pouring medium or high flow or anything else. But where I am, Floetrol is fairly inexpensive, and you can see I just used a very small amount of the GAC 800, which is expensive. But craft paints can be expensive. This is a 2-ounce for $2.49, the Extreme Sheen, $2.69, and even if we went with like a soft body Liquitex, that's a 4-ounce tube at $4.99. But the soft body craft paints require a 50-50 paint to pouring ratio. Now think about it, that's half and half at least. And the golden fluids is like a 1:8 ratio paint to pouring medium. They even say on the golden fluids websites 1:10 ratio. I like my paints a little bit stronger, so I use about a 1:8. These pigments by Leslie Onstead Color Art Pigments. This is the Bling It Red Sparkle. And these are a little pricey, I have to say, and I'm kind of addicted, unfortunately, to them as well. But they are so pretty, and so that's just a little cup of Floetrol and a little bit of the GAC 800, and I add a little bit of that red sparkle in there. It's really pretty. See the iridescent quality? Kind of show the lid here. Look at the quality. It has almost a color shift look to it. So it won't look red necessarily, but you're going to get this little bling. And I really thought it's really pretty. So that's what I'm going to use to coat half of my 16-inch round canvas right here. Now, thanks to my new Amazon wish list, I got some of the coolest things so far, 2020. Look at this bad boy. I've been wanting one of those since I saw Dirty Artist use it. I love it. Thank you so much. Very exciting. You know, thank you to my patrons who support me and this channel. Support's crucial right now. I don't know if you know anything about what's going on, but you know, to keep this channel alive and well, you really do have to support your artists and the people that you like watching. You can donate a tip, share with others, you can shop the link to my Amazon shop, you can buy art, share your favorite artists, because I don't know about other artists right now, a few I've talked to, but my ad revenue is at an all-time low, to the point where I'm making like, it's crazy, like $4 a video. So, you know, it's ridiculous. So I'm not sure how everyone else is doing, but your support is valuable. So I do appreciate it so much. Now this is my, look at that bottle. That's my Pearl High Flow by Golden. And the High Flow is different from the fluid acrylics, just in case you are not familiar with the difference. It's almost like water, and it's very, very, very shiny. I do use it a lot to make dendrites, and that's what I was hoping for here, was to get some of those little dendrite fractals on that wet paint. And I have to use a torch to pop the air bubbles. That is one thing. Seems like there are a lot of air bubbles in that high flow iridescent. And you just want to run your torch quickly over that, not too much, because otherwise you'll scorch it. So then this is just providing a light little base layer. I don't really want that color to come through at all, but I want the canvas to be wet, basically. So I'm trying to go for a dendrite look and a swipe. Now, granted, you know, dirty pours, ring pours, flip cups, they can have a lot more paint. This is a painting that doesn't require very much paint, these little swipes that I do. So if you're looking for a technique that doesn't require a ton of paint and you want to use high quality paint, then I hope that I've been able to show you in this video that the golden fluids, in the long run, if you have the money to invest in them, can actually be fairly affordable. Like I said, $8.50 in the golden fluids for this painting and the painting I'm going to show you at the end. And that's pretty amazing. So I basically just, you guys all know how to do a swipe, but the main thing you have to know about a swipe is that the colors need to be fairly thin, and that is one thing. The GAC 800 is pretty thin in terms of the body of it, and the golden fluids are very thin as well. So I had a bunch of thin Floetrol this summer, and I still am trying to work my way through it. So I used the thinner Floetrol and the GAC 800. I didn't have to add any water or anything, so it made mixing this really super easy. Now, you don't get a lot of cells with the GAC 800. That's one thing I have noticed. And I was watching Fiona live, her Flower Dips live. She does a live Sunday show, which is really fun, by the way. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should check it out. She's awesome, and her and I did a fun collab, and that's how I got to know her. But she also did an experiment with GAC 800 and did not get the lacing in cells. And I noticed I don't get a lot of lacing in cells either, but it does create a certain specific look, so I do like it. And it dries very silky and very satiny, so Now, this is just more of the Pearl High Flow, and I didn't really get the dendrites that I was hoping for. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it's if the paint is too thick or if it's not wet enough, which I think in this case may have been the issue. So I'm just adding right along the line of the paint some of that high flow. Isn't that pretty, you guys? I put that on a turntable, by the way. Just give it a little spin just because it was pretty and fun. But now I'm gonna go in and do my little, as Kathleen Osmore calls, fiddling. I'm gonna do my little cause creation fiddling, but you know, one thing that I do know is gonna happen because I've used high flow a lot is it takes hours sometimes to seep into the other paint fully. So all this little fiddling that I'm doing, it's gonna actually fall down underneath the high flow, and it'll look like little tiny fissures eventually. So it won't be as obvious as it is right now as the high flow kind of takes over, and I'm counting on that because this is a little too obvious for me, but still it looks cool. It reminds me of like electricity, and I'm not adding any paint or anything. I'm just using the paint that's already there and drawing it up and into the pearl white space. I need a name for this painting. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear in the comments below if you have a name that comes to mind for this one. I really don't have one yet. So I have a lot of paintings for sale right now, and they're all very inexpensive. I don't have them all listed in my shop because when I put them in my shop, there's all these fees associated with processing them. So if you're interested in any painting that you've seen in the last 2 or 3 weeks, please give me a call. You can email me, you can direct message me on Facebook, Heather Mader Art. You can email me at heathermaderart@gmail.com. So there's a few different ways to get a hold of me if you're interested in a painting, including this one. It's really, really pretty, dried, and I can't wait to varnish it. I'm going to take it under the light so you can really see how beautiful. That's just kind of like the overhead view. And then when we go down, see how shimmering that high flow is. Now I stretched it out quite a bit. When you stretch it out that much, it does give little fissures, like I said. I love that effect. It kind of looks like ice or electricity crackling through. Like terrible camera work right there, sorry. But yeah, it's really pretty. I love that look. There we go. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. So I spent a lot of time on this one doing all those little fissures. I hope you guys like this painting. You have to tell me what you think in the comments. I got so many amazing comments about my tree painting, so I'm very happy that I shared that one with you. And also, so I took the rest of the paints after I was done with this painting, and I shut off my camera and I dumped all the leftover paints onto the table and I did a dip. and a balloon roll. And this beautiful spring fling painting came about. So I also did this painting with the paints left over. And this is a little 12 by 12 that's dried for sale. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And as always, I cannot wait to make more art videos just for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.